I very much love Kirstie Alley, and have done since I was about 4 years old. It occurred to me that I hadn't seen Blind Date. It was on Amazon Prime. I thought, well, let's watch this. I love horror films. It's a horror sci-fi. I'm not the biggest sci-fi fan, but I do love horror. And the premise sounded interesting. Unfortunately, it was very disappointing. Now, I didn't look at any of the reviews or ratings before I watched this. Why would I? It's Kirstie Alley. I was going to watch it regardless. But now I'm seeing it's got 4.8 out of 10 on IMDb. And I agree with that. It's rare that I will agree with such a low rating, but I do. So this was released in 1984, directed by Nico Mastorakis, and stars Joseph Bottoms, James Daughton, and Kirstie Alley. And I'll mention the good things first of all. The good things, I think the special effects are pretty good. I think the point of view work is really good when we're seeing things through various people's perspectives, mainly Jonathon's perspective, or one of her protagonists. Camera work's good, special effects are good. Good mix of locations, the scenery is often quite different. I found the directing in the scenes in the underground, in the metro, I thought that was very good. Where it falls down, really, is the narrative. And it could have been so much better, and it could have been so much more. And basically, I'll read the description from IMDb. A man goes blind when remembering his lost girlfriend, but the doctors can't find anything wrong with his eyes. They fit him with an experimental device which allows him to see with the aid of a computer interface and brain electrodes. Meanwhile, a taxi driver is taking young women up to their apartments, giving them gas and performing a little fatal amateur surgery on them. Their paths inevitably converge, and the blind man must try to stop the psychopath. That's not very well written, to be perfectly honest. I should have just paraphrased it. Basically, a man is randomly blind. They can't work out why. They fit him with this, basically looks like Walkman headphones, those little kind of spongy headphones. And suddenly he can see in his mind, but it's kind of like, it's just black with white lines. It's hard to explain until you see it. So you can kind of see. And then the fact that this taxi driver is harming young women is a separate story, and as it says, they intertwine. But I think the way they intertwine doesn't work. It's very basic. It's not very believable. It's very forced. It feels very unnecessary. If this had just been a film about a man who went blind and was using this technology, and they turned it into just a sci-fi, it would have been really interesting. It would have been a really fascinating one to discuss and to think about and to contemplate. But the horror aspect just doesn't exist. It's not scary. It's not that bloodthirsty. We don't really get that much information about this taxi driver. It's a tremendous letdown in terms of the narrative. Kirstie Alley, obviously beautiful, love her. Nothing wrong with her performance, nothing wrong with anybody's performance. I think the casting and the acting were very good. Kirstie Alley's in a reasonable amount. To begin with, she wasn't in it so much, and I thought, oh, she's just got a bit part. But no, she is one of the top billed, and she is in it a reasonable amount, so that was something that kept me going. Had she not been in it, I honestly don't know if I would have made it to the end of the film. It's very dire. If you love Kirstie Alley, give it a go. If you like anybody in this, give it a go. But honestly, it could have been so much more, and I just feel let down.